This is Today in St. Louis, focused on you.
Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, July 29th. I'm Michelle Lee.
And I'm Sydney Stallworth. Right now, our crews are following two breaking stories in St. Charles and St. Louis counties. Right now, a 5 on Your Side crew is on the scene of a deadly house fire in Wentzville on Lucille Street. The Wentzville fire chief confirms a passerby called 911 around 1 a.m. after seeing the mobile home engulfed in flames. Once crews put out the fire, they found a victim inside. Right now, fire crews are working to identify the person who was killed.
And at the same time that fire took place, police also discovered 2 men dead in Olivette.
Our Mercedes McKay has been on the scene for hours. Mercedes, what can you tell us?
Sydney and Michelle, well, in the last few minutes, we have seen some police leave the scene here, but as you can see, it is still pretty active. So less than an hour ago, we received new information from the St. Louis County Police Department. This morning, we do know that 2 men were found dead near the Olive Apartments on Olive Boulevard. We also know from police that there is no indication that any officers fired shots. And as you can see behind me here, this is really important for commuters. This intersection of Olive Boulevard is still shut down because of this ongoing investigation. And it's been that way, Cindy and Michelle, all morning long, and it's shut down at least a few blocks. This map on your screen now gives you an idea of where we are in Olivette. The police presence is here on Olive near I-170 at the Oliver Apartments. Now take a look at your screen, and this is video from the scene just before 2 this morning. Olivette officers responded to a shooting along Olive Boulevard just after 1:30. When they arrived to the scene, they heard more shots fired and thought someone was firing at them, so they issued an officer in need of aid request, and that's when other police departments responded. Officers then found 2 men shot and killed in the area. When I got to the scene just after 3 this morning, I saw officers talking to multiple witnesses inside their police cruisers. Now, St. Louis County Police Department is taking over this ongoing investigation. And again, I just want to remind everyone, because this is a busy road, Olive Boulevard is still shut down a few blocks here because of this ongoing investigation. Police also tell us this morning that the name of the victims won't be released until later when family have been notified. We'll continue to stay on top of this breaking news all morning long. Live in Olivette, Mercedes McKay, 5 on Your Side.
All right, thanks so much, Mercedes. Right now, students, staff, and families are preparing to hear new details of the deadly school shooting at Central Visual and Performing Arts High School. In October of 2022, a former student opened fire inside the school, killing a student and teacher and wounding others. St. Louis police have now closed the case file and will include information about resources for victims in their presentation. You can watch today's news conference live on the 5+ streaming app at 11 a.m.
All right, on this Monday morning, we are waking up with a weather impact alert. We have excessive heat warnings in place for St. Louis Metro this week, and heat advisories, that's the orange, away from St. Louis. The bottom line is we are all headed to see dangerously hot temperatures, and some cases could be life-threatening. So you want to make sure you're limiting your time outside in the afternoon hours. The extreme heat, sometimes it is hard for the body to keep up, and so you really want to make sure that you're hydrating as often as possible, getting into the AC as well. That is crucial when it gets this hot. The warnings go into place at 1 o'clock this afternoon and will remain in place through Thursday until 7 p.m. So today in St. Louis started off steamy with 70s this morning. We'll be at about 90 degrees at 1 o'clock and into the mid-90s today. And heat index values today will be over 100 degrees and even higher through the course of the weekend. We also have storms that are firing up this morning. We'll talk about the storms first that are coming up and the heat to follow. That's in the full forecast in less than 10 minutes. Let's get over to Paul now, get an update on our roadways. Good Monday morning to you, Paul.
Good Monday morning to you, Anthony Slaughter. Thank you very much for keeping us in the know with everything happening out there. Also want to make sure you know about the roads. Okay, so we do have the construction here along St. Charles Rock Road at Lindbergh. This is right by where you'd be approaching the airport, so something to think about there. And then, yeah, construction on Olive. You can see the cones right here. I also want to take this map and move to where Mercedes is. Now, that is near the airport, but I want to show you where Mercedes is because the road is shut down there, and a lot of people will use that to get to 270 or, anywhere near there from Olivette. So just be careful if you're headed that way. Still closed here, and yeah, definitely a bad situation there. We'll have another take of traffic coming your way in just a few minutes.
Rennie in Paris is sponsored by Mercy. Your life is our life's work.
Right now, our Rennie Knot is in Paris following our local athletes as they vie for gold and exploring all that Paris has to offer. He's joining us live this morning near the Eiffel Tower. But Rennie, you've been pounding the pavement out there, and it sounds like you found another incredible structure a little bit farther away from all of the chaos of the city, huh?
Further away. I mean, right now I'm about 200 or so yards away from the Eiffel Tower. Off to my right here behind me, the Trocadero, where over there a lot of the TV crews are set up to do their live shots from here in Paris. Yes, there's a lot of activities going on around the city when it comes to the Olympics and the competitions, but there's also some great sights to see. And I discovered one that may be colossal, to say the least.
It is a place where the calmness of nature flows into a landscape of man-made structures where skyscrapers tower over the giant works of art. Structures dwarfed even more by the Grand Arch. Grand may be an understatement. Designed as a tribute to humanity, the Grand Arch stretches 360 feet skyward. The opening, large enough to fit Notre Dame Cathedral. Steps take visitors up for a view of Paris. The Arc de Triomphe, which is nearly 3 miles away, can be seen off in the distance. Elevators once took people even higher, but are no longer in use. But this area continues to buzz as a business district offering restaurants, entertainment. The Grand Arch itself has office spaces. And yet, with all of that, there is also peace here, in the artistic beauty one finds in nature.
It truly is a sight to behold to go there, because not only is the Grand Arch just enormous, but there's also all that nature around it with the flowers and the trees and the fountains. It's very peaceful. At the same time, you could really get into a lot of things going on there. There's a theater, there's restaurants. It is a happening spot. Throughout my time here in Paris, I'm going to try to take you around as much as possible to some of the other locations in town, and all of them seem to just be more and more impressive as you go from day to day to day. Now, coming up in the 6:30 half hour of the day in St. Louis, we're going to speak with our local Olympian, Jaden Ulrich. She represents East Alton and Wood River. She's here to throw the discus. She's here to go from the gold. We'll hear from her coming up in just a few minutes. Reporting live in Paris, I'm Rennie Knott.
This Paris weather update is sponsored by BJC Healthcare. You deserve extraordinary care.
All right, over the course of the weekend, Paris actually had some really decent weather, and you saw from Rennie's live shot, it is bright blue sky, sunshine there, and heating up too. It's still summer there, and they're right about near 80 degrees. The dew point's up there too, and you know what that means. It's a little humid. We've heard Rennie talk about that. All right, here's the forecast. Rennie, get ready. It's going to get hot tomorrow. 97 degrees is where they're headed in Paris tomorrow. Some thunderstorms for the afternoon, and then slightly cooler for Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures coming on back into the 80s. So look at our local forecasts coming up in less than 5 minutes.
For decades, the Great River Greenways have been expanding across our region. We're going to share the best trails to check out on a hot summer day.